First things first, I want to thank all of you for actually sharing my videos, watching my videos, sharing them on social media. I really appreciate that. And if I forget to say it later on in the next few weeks, I hope everyone has an amazing Christmas. As you can see, I got my Christmas tree up. But I do what I do on this page. I do what I do on YouTube because someone has to. And except for a few strong exceptions, no one is willing to say what needs to be said, especially about Donald Trump, because of fear of being ostracized, fear of being told you're a conspiracy theorist, fear that you're being used by all the excuses that Republicans have been pushing out there for years. But everyone needs to know about this. Donald Trump needs to be prosecuted for January 6, 2021. But his attorney what I'm about to read to you is a few paragraphs from a Huffington Post article that was published a few days ago, but just brought to my attention now. And quite honestly, it needs to be, first off, the lawyer needs to be disbarred for being stupid. And second off, this three-judge panel in the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals needs to throw it out. Attorney claims Trump would have immunity, if he said to burn Congress down. Donald Trump's lawyer said the president should be shielded from lawsuits even if he was seeking to destroy our constitutional system. This is going to get bad. It's going to be very bad. But let's move on, shall we? Donald Trump's immunity shield was so all-powerful that he would have been protected from lawsuits even if he called his followers to, quote, burn Congress down, unquote, while in office. His attorney stunningly argued in a federal appeals court. Yeah, you heard it right. This attorney is trying to argue that Donald Trump can say, burn it down, burn it all down. He won't face problems. He won't face prosecution. Shouldn't face lawsuits. Anyway, lawyer Jesse Bonali, I don't know if I said that name right, I don't care, insisted Trump would be immune from any lawsuit in a string of extreme scenarios presented to him Wednesday at a hearing before a three-judge panel of the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. The court is determining whether 2 police officers and 11 congressional Democrats can sue Trump for what they describe as a conspiracy to block Congress's certification of the 2020 election of January 6th of 2021. Quite honestly, we all know that Donald Trump, we've seen the evidence during the hearings on January 6th from the January 6th Select Committee. We know now that Trump knew that the crowd was armed, but we also know he said that, don't worry, let them through. Turn off the magnetometers. Let them through. Let them through. They're not here to hurt me. Let me repeat that. They're not here to hurt me. That's Donald Trump talking. He knew exactly what that crowd was there for. He knew exactly what they were planning, what they were going to try and do. He knew. And he let it happen. Plain and simple. The complaint focuses on Trump's tweets exhorting supporters to come to Washington, his lies that the election was stolen, and his remarks to supporters in his speech on that day of the insurrection to, quote, fight like hell and march to the Capitol. To be very honest with you, this statement right there needs to not only disbar this idiotic defense lawyer, but to bury Donald Trump. He knew exactly what was happening and what exactly he was planning to do. Now, in an 1982 Supreme Court ruling that held that presidents cannot be sued over their official acts, but U.S. District Court Judge Amita Mehta ruled in February that Trump's incendiary speech before the Capitol riots was not part of the then president's duties, allowing for the lawsuits to move forward. Banal was challenging that ruling on Wednesday. Let me repeat that real quick. U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta ruled in February that Trump's incendiary speech before the Capitol riots was not part of the then president's duties. So what happened on January 6th when he said, "You gotta say they can, you gotta say they can, you don't say they can, you don't stand, you have to show strength, you have to show strength, you have to show strength," that was not part of his official duties. If anything, the attorney could probably argue it, mitigating circumstances, as a campaign speech. Although the campaign and the election at that point was already over. That was not part of his official duties as the president of the United States. If that were the case, Barack Obama, if he were in office now, Barack Obama could say, "We need to get the guns out. We need to get the guns out of the hands of dangerous people. Get the guns off. I don't care what, you have to be strong about it. You have to be tough about it. Get the guns away from people." That could be argued that was part of his official duties. What Donald Trump did on January 6th was not official. He wasn't signing a bill or legislation. He was firing up a crowd to commit an act of pure terrorism, plain and simple, against the United States of America. Asked by Chief Judge Sienna Sullivan if a president would be immune from lawsuits even if he urged his supporters to intimidate citizens at polling stations to prevent them from voting, Banal said yes, while admitting that such behavior would be horrible. Again, this attorney needs to be disbarred from the practice of law for life. What kind of an answer is that to give to a chief judge? If a president would a president be immune from a lawsuit even if he urged his supporters to intimidate citizens? That's not making sure the election is safe. That's intimidation. That's voter intimidation, which is against the law, which is a felony, which is a federal felony. This attorney is not only arguing that Donald Trump should be sued. He's arguing that Donald Trump should be arrested and sent to federal freaking prison. I really don't know exactly what's going on in the heads of this guy. But honestly, Banal, he needs to be disbarred. And I'll say it again, and I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. Donald Trump needs to be arrested, charged, and put on trial for insurrection and treason and terrorism against the United States of America. The longer he's not, Ron DeSantis, good, that now I remember his name, Ron DeSantis, who's probably going to run for the Republican ticket to become president on the Republican ticket, and as much as I hate this son of a bitch, he's probably the smartest guy in the Republican Party right now because he knows how to work the system. He could probably do something like this, and he probably might succeed. But the fact is this: Donald Trump needs to be arrested and charged with treason. Because the longer he's not, the more likelihood of something like this happening again goes up day after day after day after day until someone gets it in their heads to try it again. Hell, Kari Lake, who lost the governor race, is trying to sue to overturn the election in Arizona. Now, Kari Lake's an idiotic But what if someone like Ron DeSantis or anyone else in the Republican Party gets in their heads they can do this? What then? Donald Trump needs to be made an example of. He needs to stand trial and he needs to be imprisoned for what he did. Now, we got the pawns, we got the guy with the eye patch, but when are we going to get the top dog? And the top dog right now is still Donald Trump. His own defense attorney said that he can do whatever he wanted and not face any kind of consequences for it. Enough is enough. Trump broke the law. It's time for him to pay the price. CTP Know The Truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.